Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Greetings, my friends. It's Sunday, and I would like to offer you the summary of the events from the passing week. First, we'll begin with Star Wars: The Old Republic news because patch 5.5 is scheduled to be released on 10th of October unless there is a delay. Then we'll continue with an update on Gwent and CD Projekt Red. I should start learning how to pronounce the name properly in Polish, Projekt Red. And we'll end with a few interesting updates on the upcoming Shadow of War. First, as I told you, we begin with patch 5.5. So far, BioWare released 5 bits of news. First, the release date is 10th of October. It's Tuesday, of course, unless there is any kind of a delay. Second, they've already updated us on several class changes. Yes, you've guessed it correctly. Class changes continue from 5.3 to 5.4 and now into 5.5. Starting with 5.6, which I personally expect to see no sooner than late November, maybe early December. We'll start seeing some utility changes, which is funny because Vengeance and Rage, or Vigilance and Focus discipline for the Juggernaut and Guardian, have already received quite a big nerf to one of their utilities. And the other 2 changes that have been announced so far are Marksman, slight nerf, and Annihilation, slight to medium nerf. They hit all these disciplines where it hurts the most into some of their most important abilities. For Annihilation, it was the dots, and the dots sum up to more than 50% of the overall damage for the Marauder and Sentinel. For Marksman, the change was really small, but the issue is that everybody felt like Marksman deserves a boost and a buff. Instead, they received a slight nerf. The last change, or actually the first one announced, is a big nerf to the AoE capabilities of the Vengeance and Vigilance, and respectively to Rage and Focus, because it's a utility that applies to all the disciplines. Because of that, BioWare tries to compensate with boosting the single target DPS performance to these disciplines. And how exactly is this all going to result? We're about to find out when the servers go live, and we can discuss the changes to the ability priorities. Because when you have an AoE ability no longer boosted through hell or through heaven, you have to exclude it from the primary rotation and put something else, maybe a filler, which will actually result in DPS loss. Moving on with the next topic, CD Projekt Red announced a multi-year plan for Gwent. We also got a bit new detail about the single-player version of Gwent, which is called Thronebreaker, a 15-hour-long campaign which will span on 5 boards in 5 different regions. CD Projekt Red is also planning a massive, extensive multi-year plan with development, and they want to turn Gwent from a multiplayer standalone game into a service. How exactly is that going to happen? I personally don't have experience with things like that. I don't think I've seen this happen to any other game I've played previously. But in the links below in the video description, you will be able to find the link to this post and the interview from ISB News with one of the representatives from CDPR, Adam Kuczynski, if I pronounced the name correctly. This is a short 3-minute interview in Polish, dubbed with English subtitles, so you would be able to understand absolutely everything. Skipping ahead and moving on to the Shadow of War territory. This is a game that's releasing on 10th of October, same date as patch 5.5 for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I still have an inside conflict as to what exactly I'm going to do on the release date. This is my overview of the mounted skill tree and the mounted combat. This was a live stream that Monolith did a couple of days ago on Friday, and here is a brief overview of what the tree actually is about. In this article, I've done an extensive overview of the 3 different mounts that you are able to ride during the game. And I do have a video about it, actually, if you prefer video form. So we've got the Cargo Rider, Graug Rider, Pole Mount, Shadow Mount, and Dragon Rider. These are all the 5 main abilities included in the mounted skill tree. Most of them can be unlocked just by gaining skill points through leveling up and doing missions. There is one Dragon Song that you can only unlock when you complete a specific mission in the game to be able to summon a Drake. But of course, these are details that you don't really need to bore yourself with just now, since the game is not yet released. If you want to take a closer look at what the skill tree is going to be about, how much it has changed, because mounting was a possibility in Shadow of Mordor as well, but since 3 years ago, the mechanics have expanded and changed quite a bit, and Monolith have done a good job trying to inspire those of us who did not like mounting Karagors all the time. Maybe consider doing it in the next game. The next piece of news is from last Friday's live stream from Monolith, and it was an overview of how Death Threat is going to work in Shadow of War. Again, something similar from Shadow of Mordor, but considerably expanded and built upon for Shadow of War. In this article, I've listed all of the notes that I've extracted from the live stream, such as the fact that similar to Shadow of Mordor, to issue Death Threat, you need a Worm, a special orc with a green icon above its head to perform that action, or you need intel papers, just like in Shadow of Mordor. They are available in random locations, usually in fortresses and keeps throughout the realm. That threat creates a new mission for the target, and you have to complete an objective before you can draw the orc out to fight him. The mission guarantees a reward that is minimum rare quality. What is interesting though is you cannot death threat an overlord. You know, overlords are those final bosses in each assault that you are going to perform in Shadow of War. You cannot death threat those because at the time when you're allowed to perform or cast death threat to your enemies, he's still inside the keep, locked, and you have no access to this one. And if I got you inspired to play Shadow of Mordor or replay it maybe, check out this giveaway, 50,000 Shadow of Mordor free codes giveaway from Nvidia. The rules are simple. They're giving away all of these codes for free to 50 random users of the GeForce Experience software tool from Nvidia. I'm already using it, despite the fact that everybody's been cursing it. I find it useful, I find it interesting. I do have both the normal Shadow of Mordor and the Game of the Year edition, so if I'm given a code, I'll probably give it away. Let's just see what's going to happen. This is actually expected to happen on 26th of September, so 2 days after the recording of this video. This is the quick summary for this week. Of course, there has been a lot more, and you can find it on my YouTube channel as well as on Vulkk.com if you guys are interested about the games that I play, cover, and care about. Don't miss them out. Of course, more Star Wars news coming in the next days, weeks, and months because Star Wars Episode 8 is coming nearer and nearer. We've got a new game director for Star Wars Episode 9. Welcome back, JJ. And all things like that you can find and discuss with me on my social channels, on the comments on my videos, as well as on the comments on Vulkk.com. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video.